Alrighty, folks, you know I'm feeling great on a Friday morning because we're now 5-0 in our last 5 extra daily picks on my premium page. We had the Twins yesterday and they blasted the White Sox 10-2. Julian, Lewis, and Farmer all had home runs. Kirilloff and Wallner had multi-hit games. And the best part is, folks, I have another extra daily pick going off here today for just $2.99. And if you sign up for that membership here today, you're going to get access to that package every single day for the next 30 days. The math works out to be just 9 cents a day. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to my daily best play every single day during that time frame. Absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. I currently have over 755 members who are signed up and active on my premium page right now. And you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my premium site. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. And what I do on my premium page is I actually share with you which one of these free picks on these videos that I actually like the best. I'm hitting at 70% my last 10 daily best plays, 75% my last 20 in that same category. Once again, guys, I'm 5-0 in my last 5 extra daily picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. And the link for that site is in the description section below. And that, folks, we're going to jump into some free content. We're going to take a look at the Yankees at the Pirates, 635 East. The New York Yankees are minus $1.65, totals 8. Garrett Cole for New York, Johan Oviedo for Pittsburgh. Now, Ovi's recorded 14 losses and has an ERA of 4.34. When it comes to offensive production, the Pirates simply just can't get on base. These guys are a bottom 5 hit producing lineup. Now, they're also facing Garrett Cole, who's been real tough to bat against this year. The righty's 13-4 with 204 strikeouts on the season. Now, Cole's also got an ERA in the 2s along with a 1.03 whip. And collectively, these New York pitchers have been very tough to hit against when they travel. The Bombers are giving up fewer hits a game on the road than any other team in the league. 3 out of New York's last 4 road games fell under the number. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh's 4-3 to the under in their last 7 at PNC Park. Give me the Yankees minus 165, under 8. Next matchup, Braves, Marlins, 6:40 p.m. East. Atlanta's minus 175, totals 9. Bryce Elder for the Braves, Johnny Cueto for Miami. Now, Cueto's just 1-4 through 41 innings of work with the Fish. He comes into today's ball game with an ERA in the 6s. Meanwhile, at the plate, the Marlins continue to struggle producing runs. They're a bottom 3 run-producing lineup in the National League. They're facing a 12-win Bryce Elder, who's got 120 strikeouts and an ERA in the low 3s. And even if Elder has a tough time with Miami, it's the Braves who can outscore anyone. These guys lead the majors in runs per game and hits. Matt Olson's got the most homers and RBI in the big leagues. Ronald Acuna's in the top 5 in both batting average and OPS. Atlanta went 8-2 to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, Miami saw their last 3 straight at Lone Depot Park get over the total. Give me the Braves minus 175, over 9. Next ball game, Rays, Orioles, 7:05 Eastern, first pitch. Tampa Bay's minus $1.20, totals 8.5. Zach Eflin for Tampa Bay, Jack Flaherty for Baltimore. And through 24-plus innings with the O's, the righty Flaherty's got an ERA of 6.66. Ugh. Meanwhile, as a team, the O's really haven't been great recently. They took the loss in 4 out of their last 5 ball games, and they averaged under 2.1 runs a game in those defeats. When it comes to offensive woes, the Orioles have had many issues getting run production against Tampa. They've actually been held to just 3.4 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with the Rays. Certainly a stark contrast from pretty much any other game this year because Baltimore typically can hit, but for some reason, just not against Tampa. And we could see some more of that today. The righty Zach Eflin's on the mound for Tampa Bay, and he's got 14 wins on the season. Now, Eflin's also struck out 164 batters. He's got a 1.05 whip. And I'll tell you what, that's really a common theme with the Rays. Their pitching. These guys allow fewer runs a game than any other pitching staff in baseball. Now, when it comes to the injury report, Ryan Mountcastle is battling a shoulder for Baltimore. Keep an eye on him. 3 out of the O's last 4 at Camden Yards fell under the total. They also went 7-3 to the under in their last 10 against the Rays. Give me Tampa Bay minus $1.20, under 8.5. Next contest, Red Sox, Blue Jays, 7:07 Eastern first pitch. Toronto's minus $1.40, totals 8.5. Jose Barrios for Toronto, Brian Bayo for Boston. Now Bayo's 12-8 and has an ERA in the 3s. And I'll tell you what, as bad as they've been recently, this is a team who overall hits very well against Toronto. The Bo Sox have averaged 5.7 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with the Blue Jays. They're also a top 10 run-producing team in the majors. Rafi Devers, he's the club leader in homers, RBI, and hits. He's a top 10 RBI guy in the league. Meanwhile, Masataka Yoshida, he has the highest qualifying batting average in the lineup. They're facing Jose Barrios, who's definitely not invincible. The guy's recorded double-digit losses on the year. Meanwhile, as a team, the Blue Jays are on a 4-game skid. And they scored just 9 total runs in those losses. And I wouldn't be overly surprised if that happens again here today. Toronto's had all kinds of issues at the plate at home. These guys are in the bottom 10 in run production on their own diamond. When it comes to the total in this one, the Blue Jays have definitely seen a bunch of unders at Rogers Center this year. These guys are 60% to the under for the entire season at home. Give me Boston plus 1.5, under 8.5. Next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Reds at the Mets, 7:10 p.m. East. The New York Mets are minus $1.20, totals 8 runs. David Peterson for New York, Hunter Green for Cincinnati. And even though Green's numbers aren't spectacular, he's certainly racked up a good amount of strikeouts this year. He's fanned 123 batters in 91-plus innings. He's actually averaging over a strikeout an inning. When it comes to offensive production, the Reds have had little problems generating runs on the road. These guys are a top 10 run-producing lineup away from home. Spencer Steer's the club leader in RBI and hits. Jonathan India, he has the most runs scored. Now they're facing David Peterson, who continues to blow chunks. I know that's a very graphic description, but the lefty's just 3-8 with an ERA of 5.34. And even if Peterson throws well, even if he doesn't blow chunks, probably not going to get the run support he needs. The Mets are averaging under 7.6 hits a game in Flushing, Queens. That's nearly a league worst, and yes, that does blow chunks. Now, oddly enough, 4 out of the Mets' last 5 home games did get over the total. Since he went 60% to the over in their last 10. Give me the Reds plus $1, over 8. Next ball game, Rangers, Guardians, 7:10 Eastern start time. Texas is minus $1.20, totals 8.5. Excuse me. John Gray for Texas, Lucas Giolito for Cleveland. Now, Giolito's bounced around a bit this year, and overall, he's just 7-13 with an ERA close to 5 collectively. That's not going to be his official numbers with Cleveland, but just overall for the year, him personally, once again, 7-13, ERA close to 5. And even if Giolito turns it on here today, he is typically a big strikeout guy, but you got to consider the fact that the Guardians just can't score at Progressive Field. These guys are averaging under 3.6 runs a game in front of their own crowd. There's actually only one other franchise who's averaging fewer runs a game at home. They're facing a Ranger club on the other side who continues to play well for starting pitcher Johnny Gray. The Rangers got the W in their last 3 straight Gray starts, 7-3 in their last 10 in that very same category. Gray's got 131 strikeouts on the year with an ERA in the 3s. And as good as these guys hit, I'll tell you, they've been even, more impressive on the mound when they travel. These guys are in the top 3 in the American League in fewest runs allowed on the road. When it comes to the total, the Guardians have seen 65% of their contests at Progressive Field stay under the line. Give me the Rangers minus $1.20, under 8.5. Next ball game, Twins, White Sox, 7:40 Eastern first pitch. Minnesota's minus $1.65, totals 9. Bailey Ober for the Twins, Jesse Schultens for Chicago. Now, the righty Schultens is just 1-8 this year through 79 innings. He's got an ERA of 4.44 along with a 1.42 whip. And even if Schultens is superb here today, probably not going to get much run support. The White Sox are a bottom 5 run producing team at home. Now they're facing Bailey Ober, who's got 120 strikeouts and a 1.13 whip. This Twins pitching staff collectively has been really good away from home. They're actually striking out more batters a game on the road. This Twins pitching staff has collectively, sorry, brain fart. I'm thinking about the whole blowing chunks thing. Really disgusting. I can't believe I said it. Anyway, Twins, they're striking out more batters a game on the road than any other team besides one. And in their last 10 gatherings with the White Sox, Minnesota's held Chicago to just 3.2 runs a game. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. 6 out of the Sox last 10 ball games themselves stayed under the total. They're also 16-7 to the under in their divisional home games. Give me the Twins minus 165, under 9. Next matchup, Astros Royals, 8:10 p.m. East. Houston's minus $1.75, totals 9.5. Christian Javier for Houston, Zach Greinke for Kansas City. And I really don't know why Greinke hasn't faked an injury at this point, or maybe faked paternal leave or something. The guy's just 1-15 with an ERA of 5.47. He's literally recorded just one win through 126 plus innings. Pretty good career, really good success. Just hang it up or fake an injury. You got to stop this. Get on a different team. I mean, he had some really good years. I mean, there was a point in time where he was one of the better pitchers in the game. Just end it, man. Just go. Or get on a new team or go to the bullpen. This is a bad look, man. It's a bad look. Anyway, at the plate, the Royals, they just can't round the bases. They're a bottom 5 run producing team in the bigs. They're facing Christian Javier, who's 9-3 with 132 strikeouts. And even if Javier struggles, the Astros have been mighty dangerous at the dish, especially on the road. Houston's averaging a league-best 9.6 hits a game in their travels. Kyle Tucker has the 3rd most RBI in the majors, club leader in home runs. Meanwhile, Alex Bregman leads the clubhouse in hits. The Astros saw their last 3 straight road games get over the number. They're also 60% to the over in their last 10 at any location. The Royals saw their last 4 straight at Kauffman Stadium get over the total. Give me Houston minus 175, over 9.5. Next matchup, Nationals Brewers, 8:10 p.m. East. Milwaukee's minus $1.70, totals 8.5. Wade Miley for Milwaukee, Jake Irvin for Washington. And out of 113 plus innings, the righty Irvin's recorded only 3 wins. He's got an ERA in the 4s along with a 1.35 whip. The Nats have also really struggled at the plate on the road. They were pretty good hitting on the road earlier in the year, but now these guys are a bottom 10 run-producing team in their travels. They also have to face Wade Miley, who's been solid for the most part of the year. The lefty's 7-4 with a 1.14 whip. They've also been insanely tough to hit against at home. These guys allow just 7.4 hits a game in the Dome. That's actually a league low in that category. Now, 3 out of Milwaukee's last 4 at home stayed under the total. And oddly enough, Washington went 3-1 to the under in their last 4 when they bat first. Give me Milwaukee minus 170, under 8.5. Next contest, Phillies Cardinals, 8:15 Eastern first pitch. Philadelphia's minus $1.35, totals 8.5. Aaron Nola for Philadelphia, Zach Thompson for St. Louis. Now, Thompson's got an ERA in the 4s along with a 1.47 whip, and that's really not overly shocking. These Cards pitchers have been pretty terrible at Busch Stadium. They allow more hits a game at home than any other pitching staff besides Colorado. And then it's certainly bad news here for them today because the Phillies are having no problems getting on base. They're a top 5 hit-producing ball club in the league. Trey Turner's got a team-best 159 hits on the year. Bryce Harper's got the highest qualifying OPS average in the lineup. And pitching-wise, well, the Cards have had all kinds of problems with Philadelphia in recent gatherings. They've actually been held to just 1.6 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Philadelphia. Now, oddly enough, we've seen a bunch of overs recently when Aaron Nola makes the start. 7 out of Nola's last 9 starts got over the total. Meanwhile, St. Louis went 60% to the over in their last 10. Give me the Fightins minus 135, over 8.5. Next contest, Giants, Rockies, 8:40 p.m. East. San Francisco's minus 230, totals 10.5. Logan Webb for San Francisco, Chase Anderson for Colorado. Now Anderson's a winless 0-4 with an ERA of 6.49. That's not overly surprising. I think we just discussed this. The Rockies allow more hits a game at home than any other pitching staff in the majors. The Cards right behind them there in that category. But anyway, Colorado's giving up 11 hits a game at Coors Field. Now they're taking on a San Francisco lineup who's very patient on the road. These guys are in the top 3 in walks per 9 while traveling. And in their last 10 gatherings with the Rockies, the Giants have averaged over 5.8 runs a game. Now on the mound, Logan Webb's given these guys many opportunities to win ball games. He's got an ERA of 3.40 along with a 1.08 whip. Now the Giants went 60% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, the over cashed in 8 out of Chase Anderson's last 9 starts. Give me the Giants minus 1.5, over 10.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Tigers, Angels, 9:38 Eastern first pitch. Detroit's minus $120, total 7.5. Tark Skubal for the Tigers, Griffin Canning for the Angels. Now, Canning's allowed his fair share of earned runs this year. The righty's got an ERA of 4.34. They're also facing Tark Skubal, who's looked really good in the back half of the year. Scoobs currently has an ERA of 3.47 along with a 1.03 whip. And I'll tell you this much, these Detroit pitchers have been really tough to hit against on the road this year. These guys currently find themselves in the top 5 in the American League in fewest runs allowed while traveling. And no real surprise here when it comes to the total in this one. 3 out of Detroit's last 4 road games did stay under the number. They're also 7-3 to the under in their last 10 at any location. Give me Detroit minus $120, under 7.5. Next matchup, Cubs, D-backs, 9:40 p.m. East. Chicago's minus $135, totals 8.5. Justin Steele for the Cubs, Brandon Pfaadt for Arizona. Now, Pfaadt's been terrible. He's just 1-8 with an ERA of 6.25. And even though Chicago's hit a bit of a rough patch here recently, it's also Arizona who dropped 4 out of their last 5 themselves. And they averaged under 2.5 runs a game during that time frame. Now, we could also see some more of the same here today with lefty Justin Steele. Steele's 16-3 with an ERA of 2.49. He's also got himself a 1.13 whip. Now, as a pitching staff, the Cubs allowed just 7.8 hits a game in their travels. That's nearly a National League low. And the Cubs saw their last 3 road games stay under the total. They're also 9-1 to the under in their last 10 at any location. Meanwhile, Arizona saw 7 out of their last 10 stay under the number themselves. Give me the Cubs minus 135, under 8.5. Next ball game, Padres Athletics, 9:40 p.m. East. San Diego's 210, totals 8.5. Seth Lugo for San Diego, Sean Newcomb for Oakland. And even though Nuke's had some really good numbers, just keep in mind he's only pitched a dozen games this year. And even if he does continue to throw well, the A's have averaged fewer runs per nine than any other lineup in baseball. And we could see some more of that today. Starting pitcher Seth Lugo's got an ERA in the threes for San Diego, along with 119 strikeouts. Now, these San Diego pitchers have also been very tough to hit against this year. It's really not their fault that the Pods aren't doing well. It's the bats. This San Diego pitching staff is currently in the top 5 in the National League in fewest runs allowed. And oddly enough, 5 out of San Diego's last 6 road games did get over the total. They also went 60% to the over in their last 10 at any location. Now, 3 out of Oakland's last 4 at the Coliseum got over the number. Give me San Diego -1.5, over 8.5. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. It's going to be in that Dodgers-Mariners game, 10:10 Eastern first pitch. Now, the Dodgers are -120, total 7.5. Bobby Miller for the Dodgers, George Kirby for the Mariners. Kirby's got double-digit wins on the season with 151 strikeouts. He's also got himself a stingy 1.05 whip. Now at the plate, the M's are now a top 10 run-producing team. They're facing a Dodger club who doesn't pitch great on the road. They're actually allowing 5 runs a game in their travels. They're also in the bottom 5 in strikeouts on the mound on the road. And in LA's last 6 straight road games, well, they all got over the total. Meanwhile, Seattle went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me the Mariners plus $1 over 7.5. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. Give me the Yankees -165 under 8. Braves -175 over 9. Rays -120 under 8.5. I'm 5-0 my last 5 extra daily picks on my premium page. And the good news is I have another extra daily pick going off here today. It costs just $2.99 for 30 days of service. The math works out to be just 9 cents a day. The link for that pick is in my bio. Give me Boston +1.5 under 8.5 runs. Reds plus $1 over 8. Rangers -120 under 8.5. Twins -165 under 9. Astros -175 over 9.5. Milwaukee -170 under 8.5 runs. Phillies -135 over 8.5. Giants -1.5 over 10.5 runs. Tigers -120 under 7.5. Cubs -135 under 8.5. Padres -1.5 over 8.5. With my next and final free pick for the video, give me the Mariners plus $1 over 7.5. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my website. Now, just a friendly reminder, guys, if you do end up signing up for a membership on patreon.com/BrockPage, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. As an added bonus, guys, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I always tell folks that Chairman package that I offer, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. It gives you access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you also get access to my podcast right there on that page, absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, folks, happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.